bonus topic is Bob Baffert has been sidelined and penalized for 90 days, suspended. His horses have been dispersed. Now, what do we do as handicappers? If you're handicapping the races, we can have our opinions on what's right or wrong on the Baffert situation, but now let's just talk about it as horse players. What do we do with his horses as they move on to other barns?
Well, that's a good question because the horse players out here in California are going to have to make that decision. Most of these horses are going to Sean McCarthy. A few have gone to Tim Yakteen. Sean on the left is a really, really good horseman. I've known him for 20 years. He was a colleague of mine at HRTV. Tim Yakteen, of course, married to Millie Ball, who's been a colleague of mine for the same time. So I know these two trainers very well. They're good horsemen, but they're not Bob Baffert, who is, The question is when Sean takes over some of these Baffert horses and starts saddling them, same thing for Tim. Does the horse player assume they're going to run just as well, or do they have a wait and see attitude? Here's what I'm going to do as a horse player. I'm going to assume until proven otherwise that they'll run just as well. Most of the horses he has have proven form. I've watched them train. They seem like they're training just as well for the new trainers that they have. Now, obviously, there's Sean's got an edge because he's got Jimmy Barnes, who's Bob Baffert's assistant, staying on his assistant. So they won't miss a beat. And I think when we see what these Baffert horses run next weekend and down the road, I think you're going to see that they'll do just fine. And I'm going to approach it with confidence. We'll see what happens.
I look at it kind of like a claim. And when a horse is claimed from one barn to the next, the sooner they run back, the closer to that claim, the more I feel like they run from the other barn, the previous barn, not the new one. So I would think that these horses are going to hold their form in the immediate, and the ones that get longer, closer to the end of that 90 days, maybe that's where we start to see some of the difference. The one thing about the Baffert trainees, and Jeff, you know this, you've seen more workouts at Santa Anita than a lot of folks. Baffert has a team, right? And those horses work together in drills. He's got big horse after big horse after big horse that he can match up. And why he's successful, and maybe, he works them hard, fast, and often. Now, with these new barns and the number of horses that are dispersed here and there, will Tim Yakteen be able to do the same kind of program with those horses? Does he have enough bullets to go out there every 6 days in the morning and put another $500,000 horse up against a $500,000 horse in the morning? That's where we're going to start to see some of it, because the stable's been, there's not attrition to it, but it's been divided up. Rudolph Brisset got a couple in Kentucky. So how will they match up in the morning? I can't wait to watch the XBTV workouts on these horses, see who they're paired up with, how they work, how fast they go. These horses usually 58 workers for Baffert for 5 furlongs, and now they're working 1 minute and 2 for Yakteen or McCarthy. Do they take something off the fastball because they're not Baffert and they don't have the program that he had? This is the interesting part of it for me. So I think the workout tab, the workout videos at XBTV are absolutely critical. And I think the closer you are to this transition, the more you should probably just trust their form and what you see on paper with the horses. If they get a start or two down the line in this 90 days, then you can start to trust them on their new form and their new trainer. But I'm treating it like a claim.
Well, you'd be right doing that. I can tell you that neither Sean or Tim work their horses anywhere near as fast as Bob does. But then, of course, they don't have quite the stock either. So there's a reason for that. So, I'll be very interested in seeing not only how they're being trained, but how they run as they get down the road a little bit. Now, as I mentioned, Sean, he's got the 40 horses that Baffert has here at Santa Anita. He's got his own stable. He's got 30 more at Los Al. That might be his biggest challenge, is to try to take all of this new inventory he's got and try to sort it all out. So that's part of the equation as well. Tim only has a few, and he's got the good ones. I mean, the real good ones. So it'll be challenging for the horse player, and we'll just you have to take a wait and see attitude, see how they run, and then adjust accordingly.